Yefreme Ohuma Afakuma Kaswa Onashe J Name channel.
Ebusafo me will be akwa di Name channel so. Listen any lawyer a share bio. Ene ye ba be discussion bia. Ebi hia nu abi. Post na nu abi nso nya sa information we. Mpempi no say ye ba eye abrochire na amo aboan kakra no. Aya na pese bibi e de dom ase e de show money onyam obetimi ama niska obetimi atoka ama no be say obedi ama nasa ba ya na pese o file man ne baby na afa ne say oba o adopt no na de ne ye oba na de ne boa obo wonpo anani ma me ne papa ewu e bia ni nua na ohwe ni ntino pese o de ne ba brochi no so be ka ne ma ohwe mwa ha no aya ho process no na ehun aye din bebre ntino ehun komo ene lawyer eba be di obetire the process of adoption na obetimi aye ni easier no say legal staff ntino uhia nim de ewe na emotimi de aye ntino ene lawyer samba be kasa bio ene na kasa ofidi so da oya de bebre a ode na adwen e man free a onje ehwe ntino hwebi na shema onua no so enya efutu bi nti lawyer ye makwa boji nya me channel.
Thank you
okay good ene ye ba be ye adoption mpempi no aya na ye pese ye bibi twema ye nua bia onua ba bi o hwe opese when you know person be come ma ho na hwe no because America school no de ye come into no so person ye bibi na so de she obusuane no nyam nti no person be adoption no. How is the process like?
All right, so adoption is an immigration benefit that a lot of people can seek. Ghana is a Hague Convention country.
Okay.
So we have to follow Hague Convention, exactly. Say Hague Convention on adoption.
Okay.
They have the convention on abduction as well.
Okay.
But this is for adoption.
Okay.
So it's either you are a signatory to the Hague Convention or not.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Nigeria, our brother or our sister, is not a signatory to the Hague Convention. So the process of adoption is different. From the process of adoption through a Hague Convention country. Ghana is a Hague Convention country.
Okay.
So we'll have to follow the rules of the Hague Convention to get a child adopted from Ghana.
Okay.
It's a complex but not a difficult process.
Okay.
It's complex and lengthy but not difficult.
Okay.
A non-Hague Convention country is much simpler. So number one, we have to find out which country you are coming from, and where the child is coming from.
Okay.
The country where the child is coming from. People from Nigeria can come and adopt a child in Ghana. From Ghana, adopt a child from Cameroon, Congo, whichever country. It's possible.
Like
but then if we have mixture of both Hague Convention and non-Hague Convention country, it's a very lengthy process.
Okay.
Now, if you're a US citizen, you can adopt a child. You have to seek permission from the US government, letting them know that I want to adopt a child. So you submit the initial petition. It's either I-600 or I-800, depending on whether you're a Hague Convention country or not. Once you get approved, that approval is valid for 18 months.
Okay.
Within this 18 months, you should be able to get a child. If you don't have a child, you should be able to get a Hague Convention adoption agency to place you with a child. They will find a child and place you with one.
So you can't just do by your own, you have to get an agency.
It's either you have a child on your own that you can let the agency know, I want to adopt this child.
Okay.
Because then we'll put that child in the petition that, hey, US government, I need to adopt Akosia Mansa.
Okay.
We'll put Akosia Mansa and Kofi Kojo on the application.
Okay.
Once it gets approved, we'll send the petition to the Hague approved agency.
Okay.
They would reassign the children to you. You'll get the adoption process done in Ghana.
Okay.
So my office in Ghana is able to provide services for those who want the adoption process to be done in Ghana, so that we will do everything both here and the US.
Okay.
I mean, and in Ghana, I mean.
Okay.
Once the child is legally adopted in Ghana, you have to go by the Ghana rules, which means that you must stay with the child for a minimum of 2 years.
In Ghana?
Yes.
What if I'm here?
And so there's a way to go about it.
Okay.
So we can aggregate the time. We can put the time together to get 2 years.
Yeah.
Some people stayed with their child when the child was little and qualified 2 years before coming here.
Okay.
Some people travel home all the time.
Okay.
And then we can put 2 years together. Or else, even the Ghana courts will not approve the adoption.
Okay.
So you have to go through, I'm talking specifically for Ghana. There's one, Nigeria, whichever country you are coming from. So I'm using Ghana as a case study, for instance, because Ghana is a Hague Convention country. For non-Hague Convention countries, it's much easier. So once you you have the adoption paperwork, the court document saying that you have legally adopted this child, we'll now submit another application. We can do it two ways. We can submit it here in the US, or you can submit it at the embassy in whichever country you are. Once you submit it, the child is going to be scheduled for an interview.
Okay.
The child is going to get a visa, and then the child can fly in. Once the child gets here, the child gets a green card.
A green card. Okay.
That's one way of doing the adoption, through the Hague Convention or non-Hague Convention process when the child is outside.
Okay.
There is a simpler way that I normally prefer.
So, which means they have to do two. You have to do the adoption first and own the child before you can apply for the child to be with you.
You need to apply here first to USCIS to seek permission to go and adopt. So you need to say, USCIS, I want to go and adopt Tony.
Okay.
Tony is a child in Ghana.
Okay.
I need to go and adopt. Tony qualifies as an adoptive child. You submit the application, you get approved, and then you have 18 months to do whatever you have to do.
Okay.
Then you go to Ghana and go through the adoption process in Ghana. So you have to have a very competent and effective attorney that will do it fast.
Okay.
Not to delay, we don't have a court date, the judge is not sitting, all of those things in Africa.
Yeah.
So we get that done, and once it's done, we submit the other application. And that's where the child goes to the embassy to get the visa to come. But all of these things have its own requirements. You must submit case study, you must go through FBI fingerprint, you must have, yes, you must go through adoption classes.
Hey.
Yes.
So
and you must have child study report. Wow. The child study report must be conducted by an approved, Hague approved agency.
Okay.
USCIS also approves certain agencies that have licenses to conduct home studies for adoption. So it's not just any agency. The agency must have a license and accredited by USCIS and the Hague Convention to be able to conduct adoption home studies.
Okay.
And these home studies will include the adoption classes. They'll need to train you to how to live with an adopted child.
Really? Is it different way of living? Yeah, adopting like a child. So
true, but you see, every situation is different.
Okay.
You are bringing someone from a different culture into the culture here, and so you should be able to understand how to deal with some of these things.
Wow,
that's how come I know. That's how come most of the adoptions in the US succeed.
Okay.
Because they take their time. You know, everything you buy, every product you buy comes with a manual.
You gotta read it.
Even we human beings, as we are here, we have our own manual. God created it in such a way that if you don't put the right thing inside the body, the body will react. The same way, if you don't put fuel in the car, the car will not move, it will react. So everything has a manual. If you go by the manual, most of the time there's success. But in Africa, where I come from, we have the manual, we put the manual aside and we do what we want to do. Exactly. But unfortunately, if it has to be from the US, then we have to go through the process. And the difficulty in the whole process is to find an accredited agency. That's the difficult part. The agency's license must be valid from the time they do the home study till the time the child gets the visa. If along the line the agency loses their license, we start all over. Because then we can't use the same case study for the
new one.
Exactly.
Like you can't put difficulty. I can't put old wineskin in new wineskin. So there's no way an individual can do it. Like you have to get an agency to do the adoption.
An individual can adopt a child on his own, his or her own, but you need the agency to give you the approval. Case study, because the immigration officer is not in your house to know whether you live in a comfortable environment to bring a child. The immigration officer does not know your living arrangements. He does not know how many children are in the house. He does not know your income, whether you can qualify to take care of the child or not. If you are low income and you live in a one bedroom and you have 3 children and you want to adopt 2 more children, to be denied.
Okay.
Because the circumstances is not right to bring another child. So they have to make sure that your circumstances are good enough to bring another child inside.
So let's say if I have a child support, and I want to adopt another child back from Ghana. Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible. Once you are paying your child support consistently, you are not owing, you don't have any court orders, no injunctions, you are not required to register as a sex offender, you are very clean, your FBI background comes out well, your income is high enough to take care of the child you are paying child support on and another child. Yes, why not? You're okay.
And when it comes to the adoption, can I adopt my niece, like my...
Yes, there's family adoption.
There's family adoption?
Yes, so you can adopt a family member. Yes.
With the parents living, both parents are there. Maybe my sister's kid, she has her own kid, and I feel like, oh, she's struggling taking care of the children. I was like, okay, I want to adopt two with me here, to live with me here and join my kids here. Is it possible?
It doesn't work that way.
Oh, why? It's adoption.
You cannot, no. There must be grounds for which you want to adopt a child.
Say grounds to be the parents are no more, or the child is in an orphanage home. Yes. And she said, me mean to me adopt.
Those are valid grounds, but just that your sister's child and your sister is struggling to take care of the other children, you want to take, it's not a ground for adoption. Adoption is where parents terminate their legal rights for the child.
Okay, so my sister has terminated it.
She doesn't want the child anymore.
Open.
No, there's nothing like open. So the mother will have to sign a voluntary relinquishment of maternity.
Oh, okay.
Father, if the father is alive, will have to sign a voluntary relinquishment of paternity as well.
Okay.
But you don't just get up and sign these documents. There must be reasons why. Yeah. So you can't go to the judge and say, oh, parent just doesn't feel like taking care of their child, and so I'm ready to sign. No, it will be denied. No. Oh. So there must be, like I said, either Hague Convention or non-Hague Convention. If you want to follow the Hague Convention, there are a list of type of children you can adopt.
Oh, okay.
The child must fall within a particular situation. Either the parents are dead, there's nobody to take care of the children, or the parents are having issues that prevent them from acting as an adult to be capable of taking care of the child. Either some parents are in the mental hospital going through rehab, some parents cannot be found, there's nobody, the child is left alone, somebody is voluntarily taking care of the child. There are certain category of people you can adopt. You can adopt a child that is from a good home, parents are both available to take care of the child, and you want to adopt just because you want the child to come to America. No, it doesn't work that way. It would be better for the child to apply for a visa.
Okay. Because
if your parents are capable and you go to apply for a visa, the possibility of you returning is higher. So the child will get a visa. It's better. That brings me to another point. There is something called Special Immigrant Juvenile.
Okay.
It's called SIJS. It's a Special Immigrant Juvenile application where children under the age of 21, juvenile, who are present in the US can apply for a green card. You must be in the US, and you must have a court order placing you with an agency or an individual. So Tony is undocumented, right? And Tony has a cousin that flew in from Ghana. 15-year-old girl or boy, and this child doesn't have any means to go back home. There's nothing to look back to. Parents are not capable of taking care of the child, all of that. You as Tony can apply to the court for custody of the child. And explain the circumstances for which. I had a situation where a child came here to visit the uncle, and then few weeks after the child came here, the father had an accident and died. It's unfortunate. The mother is also selling in the market, and she's not earning that amount of income to take care of the child, and they have 6 other siblings. That's a lot. And all of this pressure has put the mother through depression and anxiety, and she's going through therapy now. If this child should return to Ghana, what's going to happen? He's going to drop out of school. He might not even have a good future. Exactly. In that situation, you as Tony can apply to the court here in the US to get a custody order, or apply in the juvenile courts to get a juvenile court order placing the child with you. The judge must order and decree that the best place for the child to stay is here and not to return back to the country of origin. That court document will submit to USCIS and apply for special immigrant juvenile. So that's why the circumstance is special, and it's a juvenile because the person is under the age of 21. Exactly. But this court order must be gotten before the child turns 16.
Oh.
You must get the court order before the child turns 16, and you must apply before the child turns 21.
Okay, so let's say time frame.
Yes, and this process is much cheaper and faster than international adoption.
How? Yo, Jina me channel ni, yani lawyer Lisa Kumade na bon komo. You can adoption and prempi na ya na ye nuanom ye wo fast no bi aye pese ko form bet na ye nche no nya good life in the future no ye manom. Ti ba ya na ye hu process no enti no ehun komo na ye ni need no. Afi no aba Mr. Obitimi akoback no ahwe but ye ba be endia no. Lawyer we be a person de can adoption no hun komo no answer na ya kan bibia a person de kan ho bia.
Oh, international adoption, it's a very simple process, but the paperwork is a lot.
Okay.
So you need some guidance. So you can seek advice from any attorney. There are a lot of immigration attorneys around here in the US, wherever you are. You can seek assistance from an immigration attorney. Depending on the country of origin, you can contact a local attorney in your country to start the adoption process for you so that you can beat the time, so that you can do everything fast enough to be able to get the child approved and come here. Because even getting an interview with the embassy is also not easy. It takes time. And at the time you are getting all of that, the initial approval must still be valid. Or else we'll have to come back and do an extension of the initial approval before the child can go to the embassy. So once you decide this is what you want to do, you draw the plan and then you meet up with the plan all the way through. But also, there are so many ways you can bring a child or any family member here. You can bring a family member, apart from adoption. There's employment-based, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4.
Minor or still?
No, adults. If it's a minor, the minor will have to go get a visa, student's visa. Most people use the student's visa for the child to come here to go to school. Most people get a regular visiting visa for the child to come here to visit. And if they stay, through that you can change your status. I'm not saying that get a visiting visa and come here to change your status. But people do it. Exactly.
And it's legal.
Yes, it's legal. When you come here with a B1, B2, which is a visiting visa, you can change your status here from B1, B2 to F1. The only issue or the only difficult, it's not a difficulty, the only caveat is that if you should change your status here from a B1, B2 to a F1, when you go back home to visit, you can travel back home to visit. But when you go back home and you are coming back, you must go to the embassy to get an F1 visa to come back.
Oh, really?
That's if you change your status here. But if you get F1 straight from the embassy, when you come here, you can always go and visit and come back.
But if you change your status here, can't you get an F1 here? Or you have to get it back, you have to go back home and get it?
No. So when you change your status here, you'll be given an approval letter saying that your status has been changed from B1, B2 to F1. You are here. Don't forget. It's not a stamp in your passport. It's just a letter. Yes. But then you get permission, you get your I-20 signed, you travel back home. It's possible. You can go back home, visit family. Now you want to come back. Don't forget that you can only enter the US with a visa. But the visa on your passport is B1, B2. So that approval letter, you take it to the embassy, schedule an appointment, and then get it. Is not a situation where you get denied. Once you can show proof that you're in school, you got your status changed, you got the letter, they'll give you a visa, F1 visa in your passport. Let me tell you, visas only allow you to get onto the plane, board, and get to the border. That's the use of a visa. Once you get to the border, that's it. Once you get to the border, that's it, because the customs officer can return you, even though you have a visa. You can have 5 years visa, get to customs, and they'll return you home. Yes, some people come with student's visa, get to the border, and they ask you, when is your school starting? You say your school starts. Some people don't know. Some people even say that my school starts in, let's say, February. Okay. But you can come into the US not less than 30 days to your start of. So if you come 3 months to the start of the school, what are you coming to do here? And some people say I'm coming to work. That's violation of your status already. Okay, no problem. You are coming to. Do you have enough money to take care of you whilst you are here looking at snow? Yeah. Do you have accommodation? If you have accommodation, you must prove it. How long have you paid for? How much money do you have on you? Yeah. So depending on the answers you give to all these questions, they would an idea whether you are lying or not. Yeah. And at that point, you are gone back home if you are lying.
Oh, and that will be it.
That's it. That your 5 years visa will be cancelled with prejudice.
Right there, no.
Yes, it will not be cancelled without prejudice. It's cancelled with prejudice, which means you can't come back with the same visa. You must go back to the embassy and apply again and get another one to come back. So before you travel, you must speak to someone who is experienced. Now, because of this social media era, there's a lot of videos, educative videos as to when you come in, which visa you are having, what you have to say, what you don't have to say.
Anything I'll call interview business what to Canada nana. Me say what to Canada say plane in the metro ticket. Me try me badala. I said the ma badala. Me to Canada na me to Canada. Who deny me say?
Well, there are so many ways. You see, getting a visa is discretionary. You cannot hold an officer responsible for denying you because it's a discretionary relief. He can make a decision based on. There are so many ways that officers make decisions, but sometimes genuinely I think the officers don't even look at the documents. It's as if they've made up their mind before you go to the embassy. Exactly, straight away. Some people have genuine medical reasons why they have to travel. They have doctors' letters, everything. They get to the embassy and they ask, why can't this procedure be done in Ghana? Obviously, if the person has money and wants to seek high-tech or top-notch medical services, why should you deny the person? But unfortunately, yes, they will deny you. And you can't appeal. You can't appeal a denied visa. Or you can only reapply.
Now let them the one say can appeal now.
You can't appeal a visa.
You have to reapply.
You have to reapply. So if they keep denying,
pay another money. Yes.
Because they processed you before you came in. There was a security guard at the front who let you in. They need to pay that guy. When you came in, there was lights that allowed you to talk to the officer. They need to pay for service, administrative costs, and all of that. So they can't return your money.
Some of them, at least some percentage.
Unfortunately, you decided to apply. Nobody forced you. Nobody forced you to apply. There's a lot of caveats when you are submitting the application. So, and you agreed, and you also know that it's a discretionary remedy, and you agreed and you submitted the application. So when you are denied, you just walk out quietly, go back, reapply.
American embassy deny part that come no. From embassy to your house no. Hey. Oh, nyamengu bia. You need lawyer na kasa. You can adoption ho asem ntino. Lawyer file be location to you so be a person no. If there's more, I know say there's more information ntino. Can file location or number to you so be person here.
So we are located at 2300 Valley View Lane, Irving, Texas, Suite 520. The zip code is 75062. You can call us on 214-997-1758. 214-997-1758. You can also send us messages on our website. And once you go to the website, make sure you click on US because we have an office in Ghana as well. And your inquiry will come right to us here and we'll give you a call.
Good, thank you. My friend lawyer na onboard because nipa nipa. She's so helpful to the Ghana community. She's been supporting so many people. And you know, don't just rely on social media and families say hearsay. Call her. It's easy to call her number. It's free. Just first appointment on phone, whether you are working or wherever you are. She'll talk to you. Then later you book appointment, come and see her. She's affordable, and let's support one another and be safe and take care. So Ghana community and us up baby a ship on my dear Bismarck or say Bismarck the flyer no with me a contact no na bibi a person ship no or be ship ama so pay you and papa din so Angie Winners Kitchen or I grandparent Asaf Market in Chahonti. If you're doing a pa jollof watching a bank of phone na otimi Nigeria phone na e bani na o bi ni agusi soup no okoha obesevel fine mumi nyina mbobo se de bobo ya ho no se nkomori ayo there subscribe na share ma onu bi no no so fa afutu na nipa nua eni nipa ya da so nyamre na otie ya kra mu nyina bye